Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I try to bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome back my friend, Ira Feuerstein, the manager of cybersecurity business development for Telesystem, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. I've known Ira for quite some time, going back to his VP of Strategic Partnership role at Nextiva, where he built up their channel sales into the national powerhouse. Ira strategically helps channel partners become high-performing sales teams. He helps people be the best that they can be. Ira, my friend, welcome back to the Top Gun Show.
Hey, man, it's great. I can't believe I'm back, actually. Most people wouldn't invite me back.
Yeah, well, you are a special breed, my friend, a special breed. Well, hey, up to this point, we've talked about Telesystem, the Hacker Suck campaign, which is all over your picture right now, your unique value proposition and upcoming events. This week, let's talk about the threat protector and best practices in selling cybersecurity. So number one, what led you to start Threat Protector when you did?
Yeah, so, it was a pretty big decision for me. I've been in the UCAS world for a long, long time, as you know. And I just wasn't happy where the industry was going. I was seeing margins compress further and further, and just decisions being made by some of the suppliers out there just didn't make sense to me financially. Just didn't make sense. And it's just every industry goes through those things, right? They all start here, they go up, they do really well, and then they come down the back end. I just felt like the industry was coming down the back end. And I wanted to do something new. So I thought, what can I do when I grow up? And I talked to a bunch of partners, and they all said cybersecurity was hot. I didn't know anything about cybersecurity at the time. So what did I do? I went and started a cybersecurity company because I knew it was hot. It was going to be the next wave. And I knew we can make a big splash with it.
Well, you are an innovative guy, and business is about relationships. I mean, you could start any kind of business, and you would get support from the channel. You're very well known, very respected, and very appreciated. So that it doesn't surprise me that you just said, "Okay, I'll start one of those." That's great. That's great. Well, let's talk about Telesystem. I mean, there's quite a few people in the security business. What made Telesystem such a great fit for the Threat Protector acquisition?
Yeah, to me, it was interesting because when we were acquired, we started probably 6 or 8 months earlier than the acquisition date, which was September of last year. But I wasn't really thinking about being acquired at the time, honestly, until Bruce Wirt from Telesystem reached out to me. He said, "Hey, listen, we're looking to start a cybersecurity practice. And, we're talking internally about building it on our own. But," he goes, "we think we can get there quicker if we can buy a company." And he goes, "Would you guys be for sale?" And I'm like, wow. I mean, I knew we were doing really well as a company. Like our revenues had grown exponentially in a very short time. I said, if the deal's right for our partners and for our customers, I'd entertain it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That doesn't surprise me. Knowing your quality and your integrity, that doesn't surprise me. And Telesystems is great. I mean, I've got to know them through doing these interviews and stuff. They're solid people, solid business plan and strategy, and great humans. I mean, great people to be doing business with. So let's talk about from the agent side, the sales agent side. So lots of people know that security is hot and that they need to sell cybersecurity. But what do sales agents need to do to sell more cybersecurity?
That's a great question. And it was actually another reason we started the business. Because remember, we'll go back to what I said. I was talking to partners, and they were all saying cybersecurity was hot. So what would the next question I would ask them would be, how much have you sold? And no kidding, they would look at me like a deer in the headlights and go sheepishly, well, nothing. Or, we've quoted one deal. And I was like, okay, there's a big miss here. Like, everyone's saying it's big, yet it's not being sold. And it was over and over and over again. And still today, there's a lot of talk in the industry, but still, comparatively, when you compare against UCAS and bandwidth and SD-WAN and a lot of things that are being sold, it's still a very tiny fraction. So when we built the company, I said to our development team, listen, we have to solve this problem. And the problem is that the agents feel intimidated by the technology. They don't have a lot of time to learn about it, most of them. And if we can solve that problem, we'll hit a home run as a business. So I went to the developers. I said, fix it. And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, that's great, because I don't know what I'm talking about either, honestly. I just need this problem solved. So they went and worked, and like 2 months later, they came back to me and they said, we've got it. We've made a way so partners can have an easy conversation with their partners can have an easy conversation with their customers. I said, okay, what is it? Well, what they did was innovative. They created a password protected portal for partners where they can go in, they can load the email domains of their customers. No information. We don't need who they are. We don't need phone numbers. We don't need any of that nonsense. By the way, we only sell through channel, so it's not like we're going to sell against you anyway. But just the email domains, they can list 1 or 1,000 at a time. They hit submit, and within 5 seconds, they will get information back that is critical for them to starting a cybersecurity business and to building one. We give them how many of each of their customers' employees already have passwords that have been stolen and put up for sale on the dark web. Now, if the people listening to this, if you get your arms around that one point, you will go hog wild with this.
Yeah, that's incredible and totally unique. Nobody is doing that. That's great. Jump at this, people. You need this. Okay. Well, hey, Ira, I want to close with a personal question. You've been on the show before a few times. I've asked you a lot of personal questions. Today, I'd like to ask you a deeper, more personal question. If you could enter a time machine, what year would you go back to, and what would you do differently?
Man, I'll tell you what, I've done so many things wrong in my life. We could do a whole show just on that. But I'll tell you this. So we just took a long vacation, longest vacation I've ever taken. We were over in Asia for a couple of weeks, and we spent a week in the jungle in Borneo. And our guide, the jungle, there's a lot of stuff that can hurt you, kill you, bite you, sting you, eat you, there's a lot of stuff. And our guide was saying, listen, you just need to be aware of your surroundings, because, you just don't know. A lot of stuff blends in, and maybe you won't see that leopard in the tree, right? So I wish I would have went back to that day in the jungle and actually heeded his advice and was aware of my surroundings, because I was standing in this opening, and all of a sudden from my back, I hear the screeching, and all of a sudden there's something on me, like 20 pounds. It was a 20-pound macaque monkey with huge fangs, huge teeth. He was up on my head. He was like grabbing my hair and grabbing my neck, and I look at the guide. I'm like, get this thing off of me right now. And he's like, listen, don't swat at it. Don't get upset. Don't look at it, because they look at that as aggression and they will bite you. And right then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to get rabies in the middle of the jungle. This is going to be awful. And he's like, listen, when he figures out you don't have any food, he'll get off. Just bend down and he'll get off. And I did, and he did, which was great. But that hot monkey fur thing on my neck and head was it was crazy.
Well, for those of us that know you and love you, that's just a day in the life of Ira, I think.
It's my life.
That's your life. And well, Ira, I'm going to let you get back to your busy schedule. Thanks for carving out time for me again. It's great to see you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, everybody.